Today, we're painting everyone's favorite astromech. Hi guys, Jonathan from Two Raven Studios. If you're new here, welcome. Please subscribe. We have new videos every week and you don't want to miss out. So what we're going to do today is paint an R2-D2 from Star Wars Legion. Lately I haven't had much time to paint because of other stuff going on in my life, so what we're going to do is just quick and dirty, how fast can we paint this miniature to a decent standard. So we're not planning on winning any awards, but we're going to see how fast we can get this done looking pretty nice. With that in mind, let's hop right in. So the miniature's been primed with Vallejo Gray surface primer, and now we're going in with Basilicanum Gray contrast in the airbrush from a low angle, just putting some shading on the bottom of the miniature. Focusing on the parts that we want to be white here, just giving them a quick shade. We're going to repeat the previous step now with Space Wolf's Gray, which is a little bit darker, and we're just going to focus on smaller areas and do the same thing. So it's a low angle, just spraying on some shadows. Now we're going to go with titanium white ink mixed with a little bit of matte varnish and go from a high angle and put some highlights on the white areas. Again, we're just trying to be quick as possible here. Quick burst and we're done. We're going to go in with hand brushing now. I have CRYX BANE Highlight and Greatcoat Gray, both from P3. And what I'm going to do is put the CRYX BANE Highlight on the areas I want brighter and the Greatcoat in the areas I want darker. I have a clone army and I base it on the cartoon, so I use non-metallic metals instead of actual metals when I paint my miniatures for this army. So we're just kind of going, not going to look perfect, but just a cheap and easy non-metallic metal here. So you can see I'm putting a Greatcoat Gray in the darker areas, and we're just wet blending it in with the CRYX BANE Highlight by moving quickly. Alright, same process as in the previous step. Now we have CYGNAR Blue Highlight and CYGNAR Blue Base, both again from P3, and we're going over the blue areas now. The previous step we were painting non-metallic on all of the parts we wanted silver, and now we're just doing the same process on the parts we want blue. So the lighter areas are going to get the highlight, darker areas are going to get the base, and we're just going to blend it together right on the miniature. And we're going to paint the base now. So we're using the same two colors we did for the metal, the Greatcoat Gray and the CRYX BANE Highlight. We're just kind of reversing it because the metal was mostly CRYX BANE, This is going to be mostly Great Coat Gray, and again, we're just thin down, kind of wet blending it on the base, not trying to make it look perfect. In the end, I was actually really happy with this base. It's my favorite part of the miniature overall, but just being quick and easy here, just blending these two colors, create some interest on the base. Now we're moving into oil paints, my favorite. So we have a mix of white and Payne's Gray, and we're just kind of panel lining all of the parts we want to be white. So all the white parts are getting panel lined with Payne's Gray and mix of white. You can kind of add a little bit more Payne's Gray in to darken some areas. Since we're trying to be fast here, the oil paints are going to be a very fast way to blend in, and if you haven't used oil paints before, you should definitely try them out. Once you figure out how they work, you can be much faster painting by using the oils. This is thinned down with mineral spirits, by the way, so it's the two paints thinned down with mineral spirits. Next step, we're going to repeat the process with black paint, again thinned down with mineral spirits, and anything that's supposed to be that metallic color is just getting panel lined with this. The good thing about oils is if it goes on too thick, you can always just clean it right off. And same process one more time, this time on the blue, and I'm just using a dark blue. Specifically, I'm using a Winsor blue green shade, but any dark blue will do. So again, we're just panel lining. And I'm also using this a little bit thicker as well to create some darker areas. Kind of see as I move around, I'm trying to make the parts that would be slightly more towards shadow a little bit darker, like there on the back of the helmet. Next up, we're going to go to the base, and with some thinned down ivory black, we're just going to go around the base and kind of slather the whole thing. So this is going to look pretty bad, but we're going to fix it in the next step. Well, the reason we put it on so thickly is because now we're going to take a lot of it off with a Q-tip. So we're just going to go around the base with this Q-tip, and we can get some nice blends by kind of see, like I said, I really like how this base came out. We're blending the darker colors to the lighter acrylics underneath just by taking some off with just a dry Q-tip. And now I'm going in with white. This is undiluted, so I'm going to put it on with the one brush, and with a clean brush I'm just going to feather it out. So it's going to give us some quick easy blends on our highlights just by putting the white on and then using the other brush to feather that paint out. You can do this on the white. You can also do this a little bit on the metallic parts too to give them a little bit of a shine. And now with a mix of white with a little bit of black to create a gray, we're going to kind of do the same thing on the base we just did on the miniature. So we're going to put it on and feather it in. You can repeat this step a couple times till you're happy with how it looks. So you can add a little bit more paint on the same spot and feather it back out. I'm really happy with how this base... I know I said it a few times already, but it's my favorite part of this paint job is the base. I know that sounds a little silly, but I'm just very happy with it. Again, you can see I can go in over the area I've already done it and just reinforce it a little bit. And that's it for the oil paints. I left it overnight to dry. And then the next day I came back in with the acrylics again. So we're using the CYGNAR blue highlight, which we already used, and just edge highlighting all the blue areas. All those blue areas are getting edge highlighted with the color we've already used as the base. And now we're going to do the same thing on the metals by using, again, the CRYX BANE highlight and just kind of edge highlighting all those metal parts. So you want to go along the tops of all the panels. On the helmet, I kind of put a stripe here a little bit brighter just to make it look a little bit more like a non-metallic metal. Like I said, I didn't try too hard, I'm just trying to be fast, but to give it a little bit of the idea of the non-metallic metal. And then you can edge highlight around the rest of the dome. And one more highlight is on the white. We're just going to edge highlight the white now using a actually artist paint white, because I just like this white a little bit better than any of the ones made for miniatures. So this is just an artist brand white paint. You can also use this on the dome, again, to help sell that non-metallic metal look a little bit more. We have our last few details to paint, so we're going to paint in the eye lens. We're just using THAMAR black, painting in the lens. Nice and solid. And then we're going to mix a little bit of white in with our black and put a little bit of a highlight along the top edge of it. So we're just going right along the top edge, highlighting it. And then we're going to go in with pure white and add a dot. And I kind of messed it up and wasn't happy with how it looked. So I added the dot. Kind of see I made a little bit of a mess of it, but it's no big deal. You're going to go back in with the black and fix my mistake. And now we're going in with KHADOR red base and painting in some of the other little lenses on the helmet. There's one on the front and one on the back. Once that's done, we're just gonna, again, with the white, just add a dot of highlight in it to sell the lens effect a little bit more. There's a dot of highlight. And now with white again, I'm just going to go and edge highlight some of select areas on the base just to make them stand out a little bit more. And once you're done this, just paint the rim black and the miniature is done enough. So it's definitely not perfect, but it's a pretty good paint job for being something I did very quickly. I think total this might have taken me an hour and a half, if that. So I'm normally not a very fast painter, but in a relatively short time you can get some good results. It would have been better if it was metallic. I could have gone faster, but like I said, my whole army is not metallic because it's based on the cartoon. I hope you found that useful. If you did, I would appreciate a like. And I also have a little bit of an announcement. I normally release 2 videos a week, but this is going to be the last week for that. As I said earlier, I have a lot going on in my day life and my day job, so I just don't have as much time to paint. So we're going to go down to 1 video a week starting next week. So there will be a new video every Friday. Occasionally I might drop one on Tuesday here and there, but it's not going to be the regular thing anymore. We'll still have some nice content, just only once a week. So to make sure you don't miss out on any upcoming videos, make sure you subscribe. I'm also going to leave a link to a video about how to paint a clone trooper. So if you have a Grand Army of the Republic like me, you can get your whole army painted for Legion and ready for the tabletop. Until next time, keep on gaming and paint your minis.